What have we done recently? We had a big conversation about the dialogue system and all the things that we were going to do for our dialogue system. Not just the dialogue, but actually scripting our single player missions and all of that. The work is underway, is the best that I can say. It's not going to be something that we do in a week. It's not going to be something that we do in 2 weeks. It's going to be something that is consistently developed over the next couple months as we find that we need new features to it, as we need new changes, we need to do stuff. So, and this is the problem with building a scripting engine, is there's like, okay, I need to build a scripting engine before I can script anything. And once I script something, I'm going to find out the scripting engine is all wrong. We need to change it. So there's sort of an iterative process there where you need to get somebody in using it as quickly as possible so that we can start seeing, is the stuff that we're doing right? Is it wrong? Do we need to change it? And we do that before we go build 50 different missions. I had planned for Nelson and I to get on Discord today and during the stream talk about the single player missions that he had designed. And importantly, I have not gotten him to design missions that will ship with the game. These are purely test missions that are designed to test our scripting engine and see, because there's another question, right? There's the question of, can I script this? Does the scripting engine support it? But there's another question of, are the things that we're trying to do in single player fun things to do? And this is something that's it's actually a process I developed back during Far Cry. There's actually a designer working for Boomzap lately. He's a producer on a different project. He's not working on this game. A guy named Tony. And Tony and I used to work together at Crytek. Tony was one of the designers on Far Cry. And one of the first things that I did when I got there was I started asking about the AI system and whether or not the way that we were building missions was fun, or whether or not these missions were fun. And I actually got Tony and a couple other designers to build what I think I called them nuggets of gameplay, because I'm real bad at words. But basically what I wanted was to say, all right, if I'm going to build a mission and that mission is going to include X and Y and Z, is X and Y and Z fun? So let's say X was 5 AI running at me through a bunch of broken boulders and hiding behind the boulders and popping up from behind the boulders and shooting at me. That's a thing that I could put in a mission in Far Cry. Is that fun? Does the AI support it? Do they pop up from behind the boulders in an interesting, fun way? All right, if that's X, maybe Y is, I've got some guys over here and some guys over here, and they attack me from these 2 different angles. Is that fun? Right? And once I've tested those out, and you don't need to build a whole level to do that. You can just put a flat piece of ground and say, okay, well, what if they're above me? What if they're below me? What if there's a bridge and they're coming across a bridge? And I can mock all that up with little basic gray box elements relatively quickly. And then I can find out, hey, you know what? I can remember one of them very vividly, and it was, there's a big, huge gorge, and there's a bridge that goes across the gorge, and a bunch of guys are going to run across the bridge, being supported by sniper fire on either side of the bridge, and you were going to try to keep them from coming across the bridge. That was one thing that we thought would be fun. That made it into the game, by the way. I don't remember where or how, but somewhere in the game that thing happens. But we built that in 15 or 20 minutes with, you know, big gray walls and a big gray bridge and a bunch of big gray rocks, and just, you know, let them go at it and saw if it was fun. And it wasn't, but we played with the AI and we did stuff, and we made it fun. So right now in the story-based missions, I'm at that phase of development where I want Nelson and I to go and say, all right, maybe one of the missions is go into an area about that big, and in an area about that big, there's going to be 3 castles, and you need to take these castles while this guy fights you, blah, blah, blah. So there's all kinds of different permutations of what does the environment look like, what sort of objects are in this environment, what sort of characters do I put in this environment, what are your mission goals, what are your failure goals. I can test all that out just on a case-by-case basis, and then start putting a flag in that and saying, yeah, that's fun. We should do that 5 times with some different variations. And when I start putting together, because remember, we have lots of campaign missions to make. Once I start putting together the campaigns, I can call that a fun thing and say, all right, well, let's put that fun thing in as the first thing that we do in mission 4. And over here on mission 8, why don't we do that same thing, but we can alter it this way and this way and this way. And now I have sort of a Chinese food menu of things to do that we can go and look at and build from. And one of the nice things is we have a really simple editor in this game. So you can build levels very, very quickly. And because you can build levels very, very quickly, it's very quick to build something and test it in this environment and say, well, this is fun or this is not fun. So right now I have Nelson doing that thing. And as he's doing that thing, we're finding out, you know, what do we need to change and adjust in the scripting system. So that's a big thing that's happening right now. We did a bunch of other changes to the game. Let me go to the game screen. There's the game. Where is my game? For the moment, you get this, which is our ugly choose a regiment menu. And one thing we noticed in the choose a regiment menu was you couldn't actually see your regiment when you chose it, and that sucked. So what we've done is we've said, all right, why don't you actually have your regiment right here? There'll be a prettier version of this with real UI. We'll also have a lot more regiments to choose from. So you actually have space to choose up to 12 regiments here in this area. And then you will have over here on the right, you'll have, as you click each one, you'll actually get to see what your regiment is. Right now that's not working, but in theory, someday it will. So that's a thing that we have done. I will show you some other UI that we have been working on in its primordial form. We've been looking at the multiplayer lobby. Here is that as it's getting built. Let's see, I can make that a little bigger. As you can see, it's got all of the things that we need. There's a big area here for you to chat while you're in the multiplayer lobby. This is where you go when you haven't joined a game yet, but you're thinking about which game. So here's your little multiplayer lobby. You can go here and chat your little heart out. You can see when you can do a match list or a player list. If you click on the match list, these are all the matches that would be available. If you click on the player list, here's all the players that are in the lobby right now. So I want to join a game. I click match list down here in the bottom left. It's going to tell me here's what the map is and here's what they're going to be playing. So you can say, yeah, I want to spectate that match or join that match. You can also click host and start your own match. If you click on player list and then you click on a player, this information down here will give you information about that player with his little icon and whatnot. So there's that. Not implemented yet, but we're getting there. This is your multiplayer session. So let's say I joined one of those multiplayer things. And here's what I'm going to see when I get there. On the left-hand side, here's the map. The View Map button down here in the bottom left-hand corner will actually bring a nice, big, huge pop-up up where while you're waiting for everyone else to join the game, you can actually scroll around the map, see what's what, plan your strategies. Here you can see all the different players in a little scrollable menu. You can scroll up and down and see all the people that are here with their little icons. You can actually set up alliances right here in this screen if you want to start the game allied to some people. Here's where you can poke at people if you're waiting for them and you're like, hey dude, ready up, motherfucker. Then up here, all your options and whatnot. You can change the game modes up here if we make some new game modes and stuff. And then of course you can name your session if you made the session. Seriously, my artist can't spell. This is where you adjust your regiment. So this is so you can, if you're here and you want to change your regiment, you would click this and you would get that regiment select pop-up that we had earlier. You could change your regiment. There's all of that. We also have this. This is the map select screen. So let's say I started a multiplayer game and I'm hosting it. I get to go select my map. We can sort by the number of players. The second sort by column is not a sort by column. This is actually where we will determine where you're getting your maps from. So here you can scroll down and get them out of the slush pile or the whatever. So the idea is that there's the slush pile, which is where all the maps that we have not validated yet go. There's the Boomzap approved pile, which is where player-made maps that we have approved go. And there's the standard map pile, which is these are the maps the Boomzap made that ship with the game that we obviously approve because we made them, right? And so you select which one of those kind of maps you want to look at. Gives you all the maps down here. You can sort by what you want, so number of players, name a map, that sort of thing. Here's where you can see the maps, and you'll actually be able to click, scroll, zoom right here on this map, so you can actually look around the map when you're selecting it and scroll right in and see everything that you want to know about the map.